So good you wouldn't know it was done by a woman. So this is the compliment that artist Hans Hofmann paid to artist Lee Krasner. Well, first of all, that's not a compliment because, well, we can look at first. Men have made a lot of bad art. But more importantly, that entrenched sexism is something that women artists have always had to deal with. Throughout history, women artists have been at a disadvantage. Their contributions have been belittled, misattributed, ignored, omitted, and forgotten. Okay, but what about today? Well, here's a couple of quick stats. Only 8% of artists represented in Janssen's Basic History of Western Art are women. 51% of visual artists today are women, but on average, they earn 81 cents for every dollar made by male artists. Women still lag behind men in directorships held at museums with budgets over $15 million, holding 30% of art museum director positions and earning 75 cents for every dollar earned by male directors. Art world activists, the Guerrilla Girls, have been saying it since the 80s. When racism and sexism are no longer fashionable, how much will your art collection be worth? And you're seeing less than half the picture without the vision of women artists and artists of color. How do you make a demonstrated effort to showcase women artists and artists of color all year, and not just in the months designated to celebrate marginalized groups? So there's another little Guerrilla Girls pop quiz for you. What happens the rest of the year? Discrimination. Museums have an opportunity to right the balance. What would that balance actually look like? How does that happen? Helen Molesworth said it well. Some of the dudes just don't get shows that year. What does gender parity in a museum look like? Well, more women in leadership roles, more exhibitions and programming featuring women, more resources and spotlights on women. So women are having a moment right now. They're trending. Hashtag Me Too, hashtag Not Surprised, women's marches around the world. Women are speaking up and demanding to be heard. So you see more and more headlines about women artists from major news outlets with really extensive coverage. So when women start making headlines, they don't stop. You see articles titled, "Female Renaissance Artists Get Their Due." These women are some of America's greatest artists. Why don't they get the respect they deserve? A painting by Artemisia Gentileschi, the female Renaissance painter and now hashtag Me Too symbol, just sold for over $2 million. In recent years, we've seen major museums telling stories about women artists of the past and bringing their contributions to national and international audiences. Alma Thomas at the Studio Museum, Elizabeth Louise Vigée-Lebrun at the Met, Hilma af Klint at the Guggenheim. And we've also seen living women artists who've been lesser known throughout their careers finally get the recognition they deserve. 101-year-old Carmen Herrera had a solo show at the Whitney. 89-year-old Yayoi Kusama's Infinity Rooms dominated people's Instagram feeds after the Hirshhorns exhibition. And the future. Amy Sherald's portrait of Michelle Obama struck chords and sparked dialogue across the world. And she's becoming more and more of a household name. And now, we've seen how inspiration happens for future generations. Sometimes that's all it takes. One work, one moment, and one hell of a viral photo on social media to make a difference. So, she's just so cute. I can't handle it. What can you do? You're not the donor, the board member, the director, the chief curator. You probably don't get to decide which works get featured and which don't. Well, there's a lot that you can do in your roles every day. You can go online, you can go on your website, on your social media feeds, and you can make the contributions of women artists and women in your collections visible. So also, point out the work that your friends in the field do. Use them as examples. Partner up, collaborate. Your voice is louder together. And this is a very cool neon work by Yael Bartana called What If Women Ruled the World? You can find out more about gender parity in the arts by visiting the National Museum of Women in the Arts or their website. And I look forward to seeing more of you in sessions this week. Thank you.